I was last year in February and warned that we were on the brink of losing the two-state solution for the foreseeable future. We were in the midst of a settlement surge. Settlements were not being curbed, and there was no credible political process. And I feared that by this time, mid-2013, we would literally be on the brink of a catastrophe. Um, After this week in Washington, it's very clear that that has not materialized. First of all, the period of denial in Washington is over. There is full awareness about how dire the circumstances are and how great the jeopardy is to the two-state solution. Secondly, settlements have not been frozen, but they have been largely kept under control, and my clock has changed accordingly. And finally, I find this administration to be sober and resolute. There are no illusions about how difficult this is. None of the national leaders are a Nelson Mandela. On the other hand, there is a resolute engagement in an attempt to move forward and address the core issues of permanent status in a way that I have not seen for many years, and I find that to be very encouraging.
I agree. The administration is extremely serious. I think in this time, at least, it takes on an extremely personal tone, and I think that's something good and constructive. Secretary Kerry has made it his cause. The two leaders on the ground, Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Abbas, owe him personally, and he's going to drive this process forward. I think that's extremely important. Obviously, his statements demonstrate his seriousness about this. Whether final status agreement is reached by the end of the 9 months period that he set out, or at least we'll know exactly where the site stands, is clear. And I think overall the administration is extremely serious, and that's a great positive development.
There's little doubt that Prime Minister Netanyahu heard that at the White House when he met with President Obama. Yet in Israel, the people around Netanyahu, certainly the political elite, doesn't seem to be getting the message, I think at least, that Washington really is serious about it. What needs to happen for Israelis to catch up?
I'm not sure you're right. I think that some of the hysterical responses from the Likud members is an indication that they're beginning to suspect that the administration is serious. And there are signs of distress among the settlers. I think that the message is getting across. What you're describing is the fact that Netanyahu has lost his party, all of his colleagues with whom he had an alliance, like Dan Meridor and Benny Begin and Miki Eitan. They're gone. And only the hardcore ideological right, which is antagonistic to any political process, remains. But I think that Kerry has not destroyed the armor of escapism. He's pierced the armor. The final word has not been said.
Then how about the Israeli public?
Well, the Israeli public has been quite passive and disengaged from this issue for a while. And it's, generally speaking, it's busy with its daily grievances regarding social and economic issues. Having said that, the peace process, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and the attempt to resolve it are definitely back on the agenda. They're not high on the agenda, but they're back on the agenda. The press deals with it. The press is extremely impressed with the way with which Kerry drives this effort forward. Finally, I would say regarding Netanyahu's visit here, that I think he got the message, it appears crystal clear, or at least the message was communicated crystal clear. But let's not forget there's a region around us, there are other issues that are on the agenda, Syria and Iran, and therefore, how should I say it, the broadcast channels are full with all kinds of material, one of which is the Israeli-Palestinian peace process.
I don't want to sound over the top, but I believe that this year we will be witnessing a drama of biblical proportions. If the Kerry effort should fail, the floodgates of the settlements will open, and within a year, year and a half, we will be in a situation where a forward political movement will be off the table for a long time to come. It will be a threat to the viability of the two-state solution, which I consider to be a threat to the viability of the Zionist enterprise. On the other hand, we do have, for the first time in many years, a serious, robust, resolute attempt to address the core issues while getting the events on the ground under control. We're not going to get another chance, at least not in my lifetime. Secretary Kerry, President Obama are the last best hope for the two-state solution, and consequently the last best hope for guaranteeing Israel's continued existence as a Jewish and democratic state. I think Friends of Israel, Jews, non-Jews in Israel, the diaspora, have to roll up their sleeves and do everything possible to give these leaders the breathing space necessary to do what they have to do.